how would the culture of humanness work in a corporate scenario where even human resource has historically been taken as a resource, a data point, a number? And we are talking about humanness, individuality. Help me understand how Arca leadership will take this to the corporates.
So firstly, I look at it as the irony is that today it's the HR which is the most needed function for actually the CEO to straddle this whole pandemic, because they are the ones designing the policies and helping with the entire talent management. The biggest shift I see with this pandemic is a move away from task management to talent management, a move away from shareholders only to stakeholders, all stakeholders. And I think that is a very significant shift that we are seeing. The third thing that is there is that decisions have to be taken in the moment. There is not adequate data and there is not adequate time sometimes to take decisions. And that ability to take a leap of faith comes from the gut. You can accumulate any amount of data from every scenario, but ultimately it's the gut that kicks in. Anchoring people into their gut and living like that entrepreneur, really finding that entrepreneurial or unleashing that entrepreneurial spirit in every employee or every executive of an organization, helping them become leaders in their own ways to actually be innovative and creative in their perspectives, their thought process, their ideation, giving them the capacity to voice, and not just voice what they believe is going to help an organization as a whole, but actually listen and give space to another to listen to those ideas. So it cuts both ways. A leader needs to give the space and an employee needs to find the voice to speak up. There are many ways that this is going to pan out, is where the more people feel empowered, and if I look at it, self-empowerment is going to be at the core of creating a culture of humanness. And self-empowerment comes from really trusting your gut instinct and exploring like an entrepreneur. So I call it the entrepreneurial revolution that we are headed for.
Great. That's a great insight. A culture of humanness that starts from the spirit of discovering self-entrepreneurial abilities, which comes from, well, gut instinct, following your gut, listening to your heart. But you used a very critical aspect here, the space to discover that entrepreneurial ability, or the space to discover oneself. So we are going back for corporates to say, as we tackle this uncertain period and human resources doing the talent management, what you need is the guidance to help your people find themselves. Would I be right in sort of summing it up there?
So here is where I touched upon the coach being the observer. It's about each individual expanding their observer. That's the space we are creating. And what Corona or the COVID has done is forced us to withdraw from the external world to expand our observer. And that's what it's done. It is forcing it upon us to withdraw and from the external stimuli at all times.
Yep.
And actually look inwards and work towards a culture of, when the minute you are in a culture of humanness, you start looking at shared leadership.
Beautiful.
Or you call it distributed leadership. So it's a far more empowering, co-ownership, trust, innovative. It's a completely different paradigm altogether. Yeah. And we were possibly, and supported by AI. Actually, AI is going to be now, we used to say, what will we do with it?
Yes.
But actually, AI is becoming the back end for everything to free us up to actually be that human being we are designed to be, and give our perspectives, that unique perspectives, or create or innovate, because this is what we are gifted with.